Okay, good evening, Mr. Galloway. It's an honor finally getting the chance to meet you. My name is Mackie Williams. I'm finna present to you my quality of character presentation. Before I get started, though, I want to say again, it's an honor being in your class. I really appreciate your support that you've given me, and I also want to thank you for just giving me the opportunity to express myself in your class when it comes to our weekly discussion questions. And I've really grown a lot in your class, and I want to continue to grow. So thanks again, Mr. Galloway. So let's get into it. Like I said, the word that I chose was determined. I wanted to choose a word that I felt as though it defined who I was as a person, and that's me every day. This is something that it defines me who I am. This is something that I pretty much I use it every day. Being a PE teacher and a football coach, dealing with kids every day, I I strive to be successful and try to lead by example for them, because it's like when you see something, when you see someone who's positive and who does things the right way every day, it's gonna make you want to do it yourself as a person. And I try to surround myself around positive people every day. So let's get into it. Okay, when you think about the research that I've done as far as determined, it's pretty much it said that it was defined. Well, it was first used in the 14th century, obtained from Latin, and they say that it's pretty much that it means completely fixed, which I think I totally agree with that. But when you look it up in the dictionary, it says that it means just pretty much having strong feelings about doing something positive. Well, not just doing something positive, but when you put your mind to something, you don't let anything stop you from doing it until it's done. Like, it doesn't matter what it is in life, like whatever you decide, like once you put your mind to it, it's gonna get done regardless. Can't nobody do anything about it. Can't nobody stop you from doing it. And I asked myself, after I looked it up, I just asked myself, I was like, okay, why determination? Like I mentioned earlier, it's like being determined. It means like it doesn't matter if all odds are against you, you're gonna do whatever it takes to survive it and still excel, still achieve, still accomplish whatever your goals may be, because you have that desire. So you won't, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what someone does when all odds are against you. Your body, your mind, you're going to be so mentally focused to where you're just going to strive to be successful. You're only going to think about what your goals are, what you're going to achieve when you reach the end of the tunnel, like the success or whatever you want to accomplish. And I strive for that every day, every day. And I also did, once I transitioned from looking it up in the dictionary, I was just like, okay, I also want God's perspective. That's something that I've actually been working on personally. My spiritual realm, just growing and learning more as I read the Bible. It was two scriptures that really caught my eye, and that was also something else that I just felt as though it defines determination in my perspective. And those two scriptures were Proverbs 8, chapter 8, verse 33. And it says that hear instruction and be wise and refuse it not. So when you hear, when I read that, I was just like, okay, this is what I want to do. All right. Whatever I decide to do, I got to get the instruction for it first. Okay, when I get the instruction for it, I got to be wise about the decision that I'm going to decide to make. Now, if this is something that I want to do, I'm going to follow those instructions, and I'm going to be wise about every decision that I make. And if somebody else wants to assist me with it, and it's going to be beneficial for me in the long run, I'm not going to refuse it. I'm not going to refuse that help or wherever the situation may be. So that's why I try to be mindful of every decision that I make when it comes to something that I know is going to be beneficial for me in the long run. Excuse me. And the second scripture, it was pretty much similar. It came from Matthew chapter 13 verse 16. And that one said, "But blessed are your eyes, for they see, and your eyes, for they hear." I'm gonna say that one again because I really like that one. But blessed are your eyes. But blessed are your eyes, for they see, and your ears for what they hear. You gotta pay close attention. Pay very close attention to the things that you see and to the things that you hear. Because, I mean, that's all a part of it. It all goes into perspective on being determined, because you gotta see something to want to achieve it, and you gotta hear something to learn how to achieve it. Because if you don't know what to do, how can you achieve it? So I ask myself that all the time. I ask myself every day, okay, this is something that I want to do. How can I do it? How do I go about doing it? And I don't let anybody stop me from doing it, because I'm determined. It's just part of who I am as a person, because there's so many things that I want to do, and I strive at it every day. I do research every day on how I can be successful. What can I do to better myself? And not only better myself, I factor in my community too. How can this be beneficial for my student athletes? You know, what can I do to where it'll affect other people in a positive way? So I ask myself this every day. I ask myself that every day. And as you look at the slides, Mr. Galloway, you'll also see that I also have a slide to where like you'll see the term determined, and it just have other words around it, to rise, for dreams, to motivate, for victory, for passion. When I seen that picture, when I seen that picture, I was amazed. I was just like, it just motivated me so much to where like, it just kept pushing me like, man, keep going. Like I look at everything from a whole different perspective, not just athletics, but just in life. You gotta strive to want to be great in life. How can you be effective to people around you? How can can you be determined to help your family, to help friends, to help your community? How do you motivate? How can you be victorious in other ways, in other perspectives in life? It's not just about athletics. It's not just about, that's why when I coach with my guys, I try to give them a whole different realm, a whole different perspective. Like, guys, football is not just about football. It's about life. Football teaches you about life. It teaches you when you're down in the game. You're down by 21 points. What are you going to do? You just going to give up? You just going to lay down, just let them run over you? Or are you going to get up and you're going to continue to fight? What are you going to do? And Mr. Galloway, you'll be amazed. I'd be looking at those guys' face, man, just looking in their eyes and just seeing, like, some of them, they have that desire, it be in their heart, and they fight to the finish. And that's what fires me up. That be that determination right there for me to coach them harder to where they'll be, successful. And that's how that's the impact that slide did to me. So I ask myself, like I said earlier, I ask myself all the time, like, can you, if you think, as a coach, as coaches, as players, as leaders, how can you imagine the effect when you accommodate determination in your programs? When you accommodate that, I feel like you can't lose at nothing. When you have your staff, when you have the community behind you, when you have the administration behind you, like, and you have your kids on top of that, like, you can't lose. It doesn't matter who it is that comes before you. Because when you are as one, like, you can't lose. You can't lose at all. That would be so beneficial. And it will also be a perfect world, because all programs are not built like that. It takes time to develop and grow. And you got to find the right people. You got to have the right kids, because all kids are not the same. They don't think the same. So it's just all about that foundation. You got to set that foundation up first. You have to set the foundation. So it just all depends on your program, your whole system. Just all depends. Moving forward, when you go to the next slide, Mr. Galloway, I have like two of my favorite athletes of all time, that pretty much they strive for success and determination, because they let it be known on a daily basis that, look, I'm the best at what I do. And those two were, Charles Woodson. He retired. He's a Michigan alumni. The only thing I hated when he went to Green Bay, but I mean, he's still one of my favorite athletes of all time. And Russell Westbrook. Those two guys, I really admire them. I admire their gameplay. I admire their determination, their leadership, just their whole, just their personality. Like, they took over games by themselves. And when they took over a football game, like when Charles Woodson was playing, when he took over a game defensively, everybody else just follows his lead. And what Russell's doing right now, he does it on a daily basis. Some teams hate playing him because those guys are so determined. Like for Charles, he was so determined. For Russell, he's just, like, he's still playing, but he's just so determined. So some teams, they hate playing him. And it's like they give up before the game even starts. And I admire that about both of those guys. When you go to the next slide, this is one of my all-time favorite athletes. Like, he's my favorite athlete of all time, Ray Lewis. This just not enough words to express how I feel about him as an athlete and as a person. I've seen him in person. He came down here to Baton Rouge, Louisiana, for a coach's clinic. I had a chance to take a picture with him, everything, and really just got a chance to talk to him personally. And it was such a great honor, because he showed good character, good leadership, just a down to earth guy, and he inspired me as a student athlete coming up. Just watching him play, and it really inspired me not only just to worry about football, but the academic side too, to strive to be great at everything that I do. So if you look on the side of the slide, I put a little video in there too that you can check out as you're looking at my PowerPoint. And it was just, because what's so crazy at the beginning of that video, I remember that interview that he had with Deion Sanders. I remember that day, and it was amazing. Just to get that kind of flashback, just when I was putting this together, it was like deja vu, all over again. So I learned a lot from that guy, and I wish I get a chance to meet him again, because he's just one of the greatest of all time. But there was one quote that I read from Ethics 101 on the next slide, Mr. Galloway. If you look at it, it was a quote from Oprah Winfrey. Doing my best at this present moment must be in the best. It must mean that, I'm gonna say it again. Doing my best at this present moment puts me in the best place for the next moment. So when I think about that quote, I just feel like, okay, all right, this is where I want to be right now, but these are my goals. So I know that I'm taking these steps. I'm taking the right steps right now to get to where I want to be at. So I know I'm supposed to be in this place right now, because I know my future, what I'm predicting my future to be. I know I already written down my goals. This is what I want to do. So I try to keep God first, and I just follow His lead in what I'm trying to do. Okay, God, just show me the way. So I know God has placed me in certain positions. Like, He didn't put me in a position right now because, like I mentioned to you earlier, Mr. Galloway, I'm currently a PE teacher at East Feliciana Middle School out here in Clinton, Louisiana. I came from Port Allen High School. I was there for 5 years. I was coaching the wide receivers and defensive backs. I coached the defensive ends, coached quarterbacks. I coached running backs. I was a special teams coach assistant. My whole time there, like, I had at least 3 guys got selected, all district. This was like every year. Like, I have 2-3 guys that make all district. They'll play in the all-star games in the area. Like, I was very, I grew a lot there. But it was like it just all stopped. Like, that I just needed another challenge because my goal was to be a head football coach. Okay, what I got to do now? So God placed me into another position to where, like, I'm a head football coach now, but it's on the lower level. It's on the junior high level. But I know that God has given me that experience. So, okay, you're on the junior high level now. You know what it takes to be a head football coach now. So now I'm going to transition you to the high school level. And it's just all about my work ethic. And I just strive to be great at everything I do. It's just all part of my journey. And that's just how I accept it. And I also, as you look at the next slide, I just it says, it asks you the question, okay, why give up? Why? And I say I'm not gonna give up because I strive to be great at everything I do. And I try to lead by example. I try to show great character, and I try to implement positive positive energy every time at everything I do. And as you look forward in my other slides, I just put a couple of things in there to how do you apply it to life? How you apply that determination, like being disciplined, strong-willed, hardworking, and just dedication. That's what it all boils down to. I also picked up another quote that I seen. It's pretty much like a little scripture, and it said, "I am a coach because of the kids, and the passion that I have for the sport itself. There's no other feeling quite like helping young athletes further develop their natural persistence, their determination, their discipline, dedication, resiliency, work ethic, their heart, leadership skills. It all connection with and respect for others, not only in competition but in life." And when I seen that at the end, in life, that's what drew me to that whole quote. Like, I coach kids because I love them. I have the passion for it. I love kids. I love watching them grow and to be and become young adults in life, and just watch them grow. It just amazes me, because in years they come back and they see you and they thank you. And that happened to me a couple of times. And I'm a young coach, and I've been coach for a little bit over 5 years, and I had at least 4 or 5 of my athletes that came back and just say, "Thank you, coach. Thank you for everything that you've done." And it really inspires me to keep doing it, because that saying, they say you can't save everybody, but I try. And in conclusion, like I said, I just chose this word because it represents who I am as a person, and I just try to be great at everything I do, Mr. Galloway. I want to thank you for listening. Like I said, I thank you again for just having the opportunity to be in your class, and just keep doing what you're doing, Mr. Galloway. You've been doing an awesome job, and it's great talking to you, and I thank you for this opportunity. I hope all is well. Enjoy the rest of your holidays. Happy New Year, and I'll talk to you soon.